Something incredible is brewing in Detroit right now, and I need you to stay with me because the conversation happening behind closed doors across the league could reshape everything we thought we knew about this franchise's future. Welcome to Lions News Fan Report, your home for the most up-to-date news, breaking developments, and insider perspectives on our beloved team. I'm bringing you exclusive analysis that no one else is talking about yet. And trust me when I say this one hits different. Before we dive deep into what could be the most emotional storyline of the 2026 offseason, make sure you're subscribed and that notification bell is on, because you cannot afford to miss what's coming next. Let me set the stage for you. The Lions are sitting at the top of the NFC right now, playing championship-caliber football week in and week out. We've got Jahmyr Gibbs tying Barry Sanders for most touchdowns before turning 24 years old, an achievement that seemed impossible just a few years ago. We've got Jameson Williams establishing himself as a legitimate number one receiver after signing that massive $83 million extension. Our defense has pieces that are making real impact plays when it matters most. This team isn't just good anymore, we're legitimate Super Bowl contenders, and that feeling is something Lions fans haven't experienced in generations. And at the center of it all is Jared Goff, who has completely transformed his career here in Detroit. The guy who was supposedly sent here to die, the quarterback the Rams couldn't wait to dump, has turned into one of the most efficient and clutch signal callers in the entire NFL. 4 straight seasons with at least 29 touchdown passes, finishing 5th in MVP voting last year, and starting 68 consecutive games, including playoffs. Goff himself called coming to Detroit the greatest thing that ever happened to him, and honestly, we should all be grateful for what he's done wearing Honolulu blue. But here's where things get interesting, and I need your full attention for what I'm about to discuss. There's a name that hasn't been mentioned much in Detroit circles lately, but that name carries more weight and history with this franchise than almost anyone else. I'm talking about legacy, about unfinished business, about the kind of story that would make Hollywood executives salivate. And the more I look at the current landscape of the NFL, the more I see the pieces falling into place for something that seemed absolutely impossible just 12 months ago. Let's rewind to January 30th, 2021. The Detroit Lions made arguably the biggest transaction in franchise history, trading Matthew Stafford to the Los Angeles Rams in exchange for Jared Goff, multiple first-round picks, and additional draft capital. It was presented as a straightforward swap, 2 franchise quarterbacks switching teams, with Detroit getting the assets needed to rebuild. And boy, did Brad Holmes maximize those assets brilliantly. That single trade turned into Goff, Williams, Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Josh Pascal, and others. The ripple effects of that deal literally built the foundation of what we're watching dominate right now. Stafford went to Los Angeles and immediately won a Super Bowl in his first season with the Rams, finally getting that championship ring that eluded him during 12 seasons in Detroit. It was a storybook ending for a quarterback who gave everything to this city, who played through injuries, who carried mediocre rosters on his back year after year. We celebrated for him because that's what he deserved, even though it stung watching him do it in another uniform. But fast forward to today, and the situation in Los Angeles looks drastically different. The Rams are struggling, their roster has aged, and they're facing serious salary cap constraints that limit their ability to build around Stafford. At 37 years old, Stafford is still playing at a high level when healthy, but the team around him isn't giving him the weapons or protection he needs to compete for another championship. His contract situation becomes increasingly complex after this season, and league sources indicate that both sides might be open to exploring different scenarios moving forward. Now here's where my brain starts connecting dots that might sound crazy at first, but hear me out completely before you dismiss this. The Lions are built to win right now. We have a young, explosive offense, a defense that's coming together, and a coaching staff that players believe in. Goff has been fantastic, absolutely fantastic, but he's also 30 years old and will be looking at his next contract soon. His current deal runs through 2028, but the structure allows for potential movement after 2026 if both sides agreed. And then there's Stafford, who knows Detroit better than anyone, who understands Ford Field, who has relationships with key people still in the organization, and who might be facing the reality that his championship window is closing fast in Los Angeles. The man spent 12 years bleeding Honolulu blue, set almost every franchise passing record, and left not because he wanted out of Detroit specifically, but because he wanted a legitimate chance to compete for championships. And now, ironically, Detroit has become exactly that place while LA has regressed. I'm not saying this happens tomorrow, and I'm certainly not reporting this as confirmed news, but I am saying that the circumstances exist for what would be the most emotional reunion in NFL history. Imagine Matthew Stafford, the greatest quarterback in Lions history, coming back home to finish his career and lead this team to its first Super Bowl championship. Imagine him throwing touchdowns to Williams, handing the ball off to Gibbs, utilizing Laporta's versatility, all while Dan Campbell's culture amplifies everything. The poetry of him returning to win it all with the team he helped build, even if indirectly through the trade that sent him away. The financial logistics would be complex but not impossible. If the Rams are looking to get younger and reset their cap situation, they might be willing to facilitate a trade for the right compensation. The Lions would need to navigate Goff's contract, but NFL teams find ways to make moves happen when they really want something. And emotionally, this would be the kind of story that transcends football, the kind of redemption arc that fans dream about but rarely ever see materialize. Think about the impact on this locker room. Stafford's leadership and experience in big moments could be exactly what pushes this team over the top. He's been to a Super Bowl, he's won a Super Bowl, and he knows what it takes to perform when the stakes are highest. That veteran presence combined with our young talent could create something truly special. And for the fans, for this city that supported him through so many tough years, getting to see him finally win it all in Detroit would heal decades of disappointment. I know some of you are thinking this sounds impossible, that it's too Hollywood, too perfect to actually happen. But I've been around this league long enough to know that stranger things have occurred. Peyton Manning left Indianapolis and won a championship in Denver. Tom Brady left New England and won in Tampa Bay. Brett Favre went back and forth multiple times in his career. The NFL is a business, and when the business case makes sense for all parties involved, things that seemed unthinkable suddenly become reality. The key factor here is timing. If this were to happen, it would likely be after the 2025 season, giving both teams a full year to evaluate their situations and plan accordingly. Stafford would be 38, still capable of high-level play, but definitely in the final chapter of his career. The Lions would know exactly what their championship window looks like and could make a calculated decision about whether bringing Stafford home gives them the best chance to win it all. And let's be honest about something else, too. The emotional impact of this move would energize this fan base like nothing else could. We love Goff, we appreciate everything he's done, but Stafford is different. He's family. He's the guy who took hit after hit, who played through broken bones, who never complained when the team around him wasn't good enough. Bringing him back would feel like justice, like the universe finally giving us what we deserved all along. I want to know exactly what you think about this possibility. Does the idea of Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit excite you, or do you think we should stick with what's working with Goff? Do you see a scenario where this actually makes sense for both teams? How would you feel watching number 9 in Honolulu blue again? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I genuinely want to hear every perspective on this. If you enjoyed this deep dive analysis and want to stay ahead of every development surrounding our Lions, smash that subscribe button right now and hit the notification bell. I'll be bringing you the latest updates, the most detailed breakdowns, and perspectives you won't find anywhere else. Share this video with every Lions fan, because this conversation needs to be happening across the entire fan base. The future is incredibly bright in Detroit, and I'll be here covering every single moment. Until next time, keep believing, keep supporting, and let's keep riding this incredible journey together. One pride, always.